And if you're creating
Hello everyone and happy 4th of July to fellow Americans in the States this year. How's it going? Welcome to another Sovereign Citizen Watch. Today I thought it'd be appropriate since it's the day that Americans celebrate their independence from an unaccountable executive leader. I thought it'd make sense to do Sovereign Citizens. That's the only joke I'm gonna make about how depressed I am about the country. Because that's doomery, and that's not fun. But that's the one joke. Things are fucked. I acknowledged it. Alright, Sovereign Citizens, let's go. Bumble Homestead, thanks for a 30-stream streak. Says, my little dog does not like Boom Day. Sky has been exploding the past several days at random, but later she will get a bit of burger and unseasoned sweet potato fry. Not all bad. I want little bit of burger and sweet potato fry. Alright. Let's get into it. So yeah, we're doing Sob Sits today. I don't have any announcements or anything. We are still doing the poll for Costume Day, so make sure if you want to vote on the new costumes I get, you check out the pinned poll on the Discord. I'll also post a link here in one sec. We're probably going to have another day or so on this poll, and then I'll pull the trigger and actually buy the costumes. So make sure if you want, vote in this poll. You can pick, I believe, 3 options. The top 2 will be purchased. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? This gentleman you'll recognize from a Sovereign Citizen Watch a few weeks ago. He's back in court, and he didn't learn a goddamn thing. So, yeah, let's have him back in court. Actually, the beginning of this will go over, it'll do kind of a last time on, so you can see if you missed last time what he did.
And if you're creating bonds against my trust without my permission, I don't understand. Are you
Where's the reflective tape? Maybe I want to be roadkill.
saying you're committing fraud trust?
I'm saying that you are subject to the jurisdiction of this court.
This cannot move until you've proven jurisdiction, and you failed to do so. And if you cannot prove jurisdiction, then this matter needs to be dismissed with prejudice, because this is a commercial matter.
I don't know what it means because it's nonsense, but nonetheless. So you wish to go pro se? I don't need you to read the script. I need you to tell me if you wish to go pro se. If you don't,
No Doctor Who costume. Which doctor would I even dress up as? I don't know. I haven't earned the right to dress up as the Doctor.
come back on July 1st.
Are you threatening me now?
I'm telling you, there's going to be a bench warrant issued if you don't show up.
You're threatening me now. What's the reason for the threats, Abigail? This matter needs to be dismissed with prejudice.
We'll see you back on July 1st.
With Abigail.
You're done. If you don't take your paperwork and leave the courtroom, we'll have you remanded into custody.
If anybody tries to touch me, I'll charge him with assault and battery. So I will be gone because this matter is dismissed.
This is how we exited last time, and here we are today at the new court hearing. Looks like he's wearing the same outfit. So that's fun.
You're not my counsel.
Did this fool just call the judge by her given name? Oh yeah, he does that a lot. I think he's trying to decouple her personally from the title of the office she holds in order to try and delegitimize her power. Just gonna get him in trouble. Just not a good idea. Not great.
Let's address. We can address Jonathan Schuster, 480525748.
For the record, this man.
Why don't you come up to council table, please, so we can create a record?
No, I don't want to and give you any personal jurisdiction, so I'll stay right here.
No, you'll come to the council table if you would like to be heard and make a record. So you need to come
He's literally just sitting in the audience just off to the right.
up and turn on the microphone.
No, I don't need to do that for me to be heard.
I find that funny too, because you were at the correct table last time. If you thought that gave them jurisdiction, you already did it. You popped the seal on that. You can't undo that if you think that's how it works. If you think sitting at that table gives them jurisdiction, you sat at that table last time. That doesn't make any sense, even internally.
We are audio recording, so to be heard,
Called the gallery, like the night gallery.
you need to come up to.
I like that I've made it a joke that I can't be told any concept without immediately relating it to a movie or TV show.
To the table and sit with the microphone.
And by joke, I mean exaggerated real trait I have because I'm broken.
You don't have to, I don't have to come up there for you to hear me. You can hear me perfectly fine.
I can hear you, but we are creating a court record, which is audio recording.
By doing what you said.
Italian Shakespeare says, what would it take to show most of these people that they're wrong? By people, I mean sovsits. I won't say this for lack of a better term, epidemic, but I feel like it's a problem. That's a good question. I've been reading this book again recently called Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell, and I don't agree with everything he says, but he has an interesting view on beliefs and how people form their beliefs. And people tend to hold on to whatever their belief is until you can get them to the point where they cannot justify themselves out of changing their belief. There's sort of an inertia to your belief. You don't want to move it unless you absolutely have to. So I'd almost think you'd have to put them in some sort of diversion program, like similar to how you have like bad drivers sometimes go to driver school instead of getting a ticket or having a charge. So maybe that, and then you just have to have someone like talking to them, not necessarily one-on-one. You could have a classroom full of people, but you'd have to address it to them and explain why they're wrong and have them ask questions and argue with you, and you basically continue to ask them questions back until you convince them they're wrong. There's not really an efficient way to do it. Like, I can't lie. I wish there was something you could just say to them that would fix it, but it's not. You're talking about human belief, something that is, like, really set in stone. It's the kind of thing that you'd have to chip away at, and it would be really, really difficult.
Because you don't have jurisdiction over me. And so
I am going to have stuff later. I'm streaming early today specifically so I can do 4th of July stuff later. I think I missed looking at these last night. It's the sick bay uniform. No, you showed it. You showed it to me. I just didn't put it on screen necessarily, but I saw it. I like them.
Record.
Mr. Schuster, I did.
Reserve all rights.
I did.
Oh,
put
you didn't. You know what? You
Mr.
didn't
Parent
show me the
as
sick bay ones. That is nice.
By counsel. Right now, you don't represent yourself. You have standby
Appoint
counsel.
counsel to me
Well,
without my permission.
I'm not shooting fireworks, but someone I'm sure around will be.
He
I'm
has
not
no
a firework person. I don't really like them. Like, I don't hate them, other than the fact that it annoys, like, certain animals and stuff, or people. But they don't really do anything for me. Kind of like a parade. Like, I just kind of like, yep, that's a thing other people seem to like for some reason. Don't know why, but they do. Hydrate.
no permission to be my counsel. I am here sui juris, appropriate persona. I, Jonathan Troy Somalia Colin Schuster, am here under fraud, menace, and duress. I have made a special appearance to this court for those reasons. I've challenged the jurisdiction of this court, and you have not answered that challenge, Ms. Jennifer. And so
How with the 20 stream streak?
I have some questions for you.
well, right
Are you
now,
able to answer them?
I am not here to be interrogated by you. You are
Well, I
under the
just don't
jurisdiction
understand
of this.
what's going on here.
I think you understand and you choose not
I
to
do
take
not
in the information.
understand.
This is something the judge brings up several times, and I think she's wrong. I understand why she thinks that. I think there's a tendency for people, especially if they're not used to it, when they're confronted with someone like a sovereign citizen, a true believer, or a flat earther, or anyone who has a really, really unconventional belief system. Part of your brain wants to go to that place of, are they just lying to get out of this? And I know that does happen with sovereign citizens from time to time. I don't think this is a case of that. I think that this judge doesn't understand that the guy that's in her courtroom really believes this stuff. And that's hard to contend with, because wouldn't it be easier if this person was just lying about their beliefs? But it's probably not what's true. The guy that's in court right now probably really believes all these things and is delusional about it, but it's difficult to meet that at that level because it's absurd. So I think people have the tendency to be like, oh, they're just lying. No, I don't think he's lying. He's just delusional. And that's hard to deal with. But it is the reality of the situation.
Okay, well,
What's going
Mr.
on
Schuster,
here? I don't understand the nature and cause of what's going on. I don't understand how you can practice law from the bench. I don't understand how you can appoint counsel when I've told you over and over and over again that I'm here sui juris in propria persona. I'm here of my own right, in my proper person. He does not have my permission to.
Let me see if I can change the aspect ratio on this for you so you can see him, because he is slightly off screen right now, and that is annoying. Yes.
To represent me in any way.
well, it doesn't sound like you know how to represent yourself either, which you would,
represent myself.
well, you would. Either you
I
have
don't.
counsel or you are acting pro
Represent
se.
myself. And so, like I have told you, I'm here sui juris in propria persona. I have challenged the jurisdiction of this court. You have not answered that challenge. We cannot move any further until you've answered that challenge. Is this common law jurisdiction, or is this an admiralty maritime jurisdiction?
Either.
Nerdy with 35 stream streak says, I voted in the UK election today, and I really effing hope it's the last day of Tory government. Sadly, they didn't offer me the option to vote for Larry the Downing Street Cat for PM.
So,
Right.
Mr. Schuster, this is Carmen McDonald. I'm the prosecutor on this particular case. I think where we're at right now is you're being charged with an offense. I can barely hear you, which means the record that you're trying to make is not being picked up and not being recorded. So everything you're saying is not being preserved unless you go to the table up there near the microphone. So that's number one.
For the record, I reserve
if you
all
would
my
like-
rights. If you
If
cannot,
you would like,
I will-
if you,
No, I read A Malted Undying, I just didn't show the stuff on screen. The more sickbay uniform stuff, I talked about that.
Step up so you can hear me better, and I will
none of
speak
it's being,
louder.
none of it's being
I will
preserved.
speak louder so you can hear me, but I reserve all my rights. And I'm speaking much louder than anybody else prior to me has spoken.
Mr.
So I just
Schuster,
want to make sure the
Mr.
reporter
Schuster,
can hear me.
you are making legal arguments. All right, you are making legal arguments. They should be,
I don't think they're necessarily intentionally lying about the recording. I think they just recognize that it's going to be easier to pick up on if he's at the council table, which he's supposed to be there anyway, so...
preserved for the record, which means it needs to be picked up and recorded.
I will
So-
begin again so that the recorder can
Not
hear me.
choosing to be silent, you're choosing to make a legal argument. So we need to have that on the record.
For the record, I reserve
I love that he keeps saying, for the record!
all rights.
You've made that.
I, Jonathan, Troy, Faisal, Leaso, Malia Toa, Colin, Schuster, have made a special
I heard
appearance
a hyphen in there. I didn't hear a colon, so it's not legitimate.
under fraud, menace, and duress. Fiduciary, Jennifer. I've challenged the jurisdiction of this court, which has not been answered. This is a Social Security Sestake trust action, which you are now a real
STK.
party and interest to. This is an
Oh, was
military
there a colon? Okay, I missed it.
admiralty
That's on me. I'd make a bad judge.
jurisdiction under maritime law. However, you must realize that you have no such jurisdiction without also having a valid international contract in dispute. I am not aware
A valid international contract.
of having entered in any international contracts, so I deny that any such contracts exist. Will you please instruct the prosecuting attorney to inform the court if there is such a contract? And if so, place it into evidence and explain how I'm party to it and then compelled to perform under it.
Your Honor, I may be challenging 1077 in this case.
1077 is competency. She's basically saying, Judge, this guy is crazy, right? They use 1077 to basically not in front of the defendant's face to say, I don't think this person is competent.
I understand that the city's bringing up whether or not you're able to proceed in this matter. So whether or not you're able to understand the nature of the proceedings and be able to assist your attorney or to represent yourself, you have to be able to meet that threshold. And the fact that I think it's not that you don't understand, I think it's you choose not to understand, and that
I vehemently disagree with the judge on this, and maybe that's my fault. Maybe I'm in the wrong, and maybe he's just a big liar and trying to trick them all, and I'm a sucker for believing him that he believes this. Maybe. I open that as a possibility. I'm maybe a little too trusting when it comes to people expressing what they consider their beliefs. But I don't think this judge is right. I don't think this guy's just faking it. I think he really believes this. And if he really does believe this, he probably is not competent to be his own attorney or to aid his attorney in his own defense because he doesn't know what's going on.
that you have
I see what happened to the pink sauce lady. No.
someone giving you information that you are spewing in court. So you're simply off base, but I don't know that it's due to a mental defect
we cannot
that is
move
causing you
forward
to not be able to
to
understand.
challenge my competency because I've
We've never talked about pink sauce lady. It's random internet stuff.
challenged the jurisdiction of this court,
We're
and you
not
have not
We're
proved
not dealing
jurisdiction.
in social security or contracts
You
or
have to prove
maritime.
jurisdiction before we can move any further.
So that's just not how it works in this court, and
No,
I don't
that's
think you
how
have
it
the
works.
legal.
You must prove jurisdiction because I've challenged the jurisdiction. If you cannot prove jurisdiction, then I move to dismiss this matter with prejudice.
That's denied.
And so, Miss Jennifer, can you
I'm
prove
Judge Grant, so I'm going to
Jennifer,
have
can
you.
you
Oh, I heard all that. I hate Twitch times 2. I thought it was something new.
establish the jurisdiction?
Even if he genuinely believed it, does that mean he's not competent? I mean, wouldn't it be more about being capable of understanding rather than what you actually believe? I think the standard is if you're able to aid in your own defense. And it's worded that way specifically because people have a wide variety of beliefs. And it's not so much the court necessarily saying, fuck you, you're wrong, as much as it is an acknowledgement and practicality that you are not able to aid in your own defense, which takes some power out of your hands and puts it into your attorney to make more competent decisions. It's just one of those things you gotta make a call on, and I think there are definitely situations where it makes sense, because this guy is undoubtedly harming his own case a lot by doing all of this.
Can you prove jurisdiction?
Ms. McDonald, I don't know that this is him not understanding.
Again, I disagree with her on that, but she's the judge, so...
I do not understand the nature or cause.
Well, he doesn't have legal training, so that I think is
That does not
clear.
matter.
Well,
If I'm here sui juris and propria persona, I'm of my own right. I'm in my proper person. You've created a bond on this matter. You've attached my social security to this matter. You're trying to charge my trust without my permission, which is illegal. It's fraud, and I'm not going to stand for that. So you must prove jurisdiction before we can move any further. You've already tried to practice law from the bench, which is illegal. You cannot do. You've tried to assign counsel when
Sovereign citizens will often, when judges make rulings, they'll claim that they're practicing law from the bench. That's not what that is. The judge is there to make rulings of law. They're not necessarily there to be finders of fact. If it's not a bench trial, if it's a jury trial, that's not their job. But it is their job to adjudicate, like, matters of the law and procedure. And that's all she's done.
when I've given no.
Avila 2022, thanks for 27 months, says, is this my third sub baby? It is. This sub baby's name is going to be SDK Trust. Yep, I am on early. I have 4th of July plans later, so getting a stream done so I don't have to do it late tonight.
No power of attorney to anybody, and we cannot move further until you've proven jurisdiction.
so Ms. McDonald, what I think would be the next steps, I don't know if Mr. Perrin, have you been able to provide any assistance to him on a standby basis?
No, Your Honor, he doesn't want any assistance,
Okay.
so I'd ask to withdraw his.
So we could go through the colloquy, we can provide him with the form for rights. I don't know that he's going to choose to participate in that. But that would be the next step and set it for trial. So Ms. McDonald,
I don't have a problem setting it for trial. If he's going to waive counsel altogether, then I think we need to have him,
Exo Deadlock, thanks for a 3-stream streak, says UK viewers, make sure you vote today, take photo ID.
sign the waiver of right to counsel.
absolutely. I'm just saying I don't know that he's going to participate in that process either.
Right. No, I understand
We have
that.
speedy trial at
It is the
August
burden
9th.
of the state to prove jurisdiction. The prosecuting attorney has not done that. And so what we have here is we need to dismiss this matter with prejudice. And I motion to dismiss this matter with prejudice
Denied.
based on the fact that the prosecuting attorney has not proven jurisdiction.
Mr. Schuster, would you like to sit at this table away from council so that we can hear you on the
This isn't
microphone?
counsel.
Well, you could sit at this table if you'd like. There's a pen and a form and a microphone for you. If you'd like.
We cannot move until jurisdiction has been proven.
Yeah, it should be a,
You have failed to prove in jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction is something that we prove at trial. It is a factual issue as well.
We cannot move any further until jurisdiction has been proven. And none of you have done that.
So Mr. Schuster, did the court say that was August, end of August, or?
it was August 9th is speedy trial.
So
And if you plan on having me back here, you're taking away from my ability to provide and work. And I cannot just be coming back here.
He's bad at dealing with bad actor sob sits. I agree. We've seen a lot of judges who can handle it pretty deftly. She's not very good at it, and that's not to say she's a bad judge. I just think it's a particular skill set to be able to deal with people acting in bad faith. Or at least not in bad faith, people acting completely irrationally compared to what you're used to. And I don't think she's very practiced at it.
It takes my time away.
He does look fairly young for a judge, so I imagine it's just the kind of thing that with the more times you experience it, you figure out different strategies.
From working. And so if you want me back here, it seems that you have Zoom port available. I'm more than happy to make a special appearance via Zoom.
Trying to negotiate a Zoom hearing.
But you're taking away my time.
He's behaving so badly in person where there's an implicit threat of contempt and arrest. I can't even imagine how poorly he would be acting if he was over a Zoom where there's no one nearby to arrest him.
And freedom to provide for my family.
does the August term start August 6th, Your Honor?
It does.
So I would request we set it during August term.
All right, so Mr. Schuster, you've been charged with driving while your license was suspended in the 3rd degree and for operating a vehicle without the required ignition interlock device and refusing to comply
Oh,
with
It's like a drunk driving thing, too. What an asshole.
law enforcement officer. You are on a deferred prosecution in another court.
Oh my, and he's
And-
on deferred prosecution, this moron. Yeah, this guy's just whacked. I don't think he's intentionally trying to just be a pain in the ass. I think he's genuinely delusional, because it wouldn't be rational to be trying these things if you were in a right state of mind. It wouldn't make sense to know I'm on deferred prosecution, but I'm gonna try and fuck around with this case to try and get out of it. Like, that's not a rational, like, series of choices. So I don't know. I think he's genuinely delusional.
You know, the consequences are extreme for you. You are subject
You
to
have
another
to-
court, and they could very well,
Get in trouble, and you have to prove jurisdiction. You haven't
what-
done that, and you failed to do
Obviously,
that.
you-
Was it Chilie that claimed he was arrested because he wanted to investigate the system? Yeah.
believe that
We have some Chilie updates today as well, by the way.
courts do have
And so, I
jurisdiction
mean,
over you.
I would be for a competency hearing, yeah. He would probably be found, I think, in competency hearings. I don't know if he would have anything specific diagnosed, because, like, however long they get, 15 minutes to an hour to talk to a defendant. isn't enough to get a specific diagnosis probably, but you could get at minimum, you know, unspecified delusional disorder would be my guess out of this.
You have to be able to prove it, and you haven't, and you can keep pushing it and doing this.
Here, Alana, thanks for becoming a member on YouTube. I really appreciate it. Memberships on YouTube help a lot, as do super chats, so I appreciate it. Also, YouTube people, if you could like the stream, it helps a lot.
But it's just a waste of time for everybody. I definitely understand that this is not what you think it is. And this is just a waste of time at this point. So whatever you need to do to prove jurisdiction, but I know you can't. So if you want to waste more of everybody's time, go ahead, because obviously I'm not going to allow you to threaten me anymore, which you've done.
Nobody's threatening you.
Yes, you're telling me if I don't appear, that you're gonna put me into captivity, and that's ridiculous for what's going on here. That's absolutely ridiculous, and so
I don't think
this matter
anyone
needs
is
to be
told that you're
dismissed
being
with
put into
prejudice, and
captivity.
whether we need to take this to trial or whatever y'all need to do to prove jurisdiction. I mean, go ahead, but obviously you can't prove jurisdiction, so.
So I'm looking for the more
Waste everybody's
detailed
time, please.
counsel
Waste everybody's
waiver.
time. It's absolutely ridiculous.
I don't know that he's done that yet,
No,
Maybe
he
it's
hasn't.
left
I
us-
have the streamlined version, but I want him the formal,
the detailed one.
the detailed one.
We can also, Your Honor, just set it for trial today with an intervening pretrial, provide him with that document and enter the waiver at the next hearing prior to allowing counsel to withdraw.
All right.
Counsel should have never been appointed because I've never gave my power of attorney to this counsel. And obviously you did that to practice law from the bench, Miss Jennifer.
Oh, I hate that he does this. I hate that he calls her by her first name. Like, it's the embodiment of cringe. Like in a, this is everything in my body that knows about social interactions and social scripts just wants to curl up in a ball and die. Phoenix Leftist, thanks for 135 stream streak.
Which is illegal. You
Are
cannot.
they just trying to act like he isn't there at this point? Yeah, he's just a hindrance, so they're gonna steamroll past him. Gifazo with 115 stream streak says 885 to go.
Do that.
Mr. Schuster, you're charged with a crime that has potential jail consequences and fines,
Ms.
and so
Jennifer,
your rights need to be
have-
protected.
Her-
This is for your
nobody-
benefit.
There is no injured party. There is no sworn complaint of an injured party. This is absolutely ridiculous. It's a waste of everybody's time. And you're taking away my ability to work over and over and over again. And I won't stand for you violating my rights. And if you're gonna acquiesce, then okay, you're proving that you don't have any jurisdiction.
Here's the part.
So this is a detailed advisement, should you wish to waive your right to have counsel present and you want to act as your own attorney.
I said over and over again that I'm here sui juris and propria persona. You know what that means.
This case is going to be going to trial, so you need to have counsel. If you,
I'm here of my own right in my proper person. You know what that
so
means.
there's the form.
I've
for you
never
to-
signed my power of attorney away to anybody, especially this.
You need to be respectful.
I-
You
I-
are really out of
I
line,
said
Mr.
this. I
Schuster.
didn't say anything disrespectful.
You are being
this
very
person-
disrespectful.
You
To
were
the
being very
court,
disrespectful, actually,
the
because
court,
you
and to Mr.
disrespect.
Parent.
No, you, Uno reverse
You're
card.
violating my rights.
So I'm
forcing
going
me
to set
to
this on
come
for the
in here
August term. I'm going to have you take this form.
Wasting my time.
Mr. Schuster.
When you're taking away my
I'm going-
ability to provide and work. Because
Have a
this is
seat there so
free-
you can fill out
free
this
place.
form.
What's that?
You can have a seat there so you can fill out the form.
You're dismissed. Do you need anything else?
Yes, I do. I need you to take that form. So we're gonna have to go through that because this
Don't say to the judge you're dismissed. I don't think anyone here probably needs that advice, but good general advice. Don't tell the judge they're dismissed.
case is gonna be going to trial. It's gonna be set on the August term.
Oh, exciting. I can't wait to
That
see
would be
it.
August 6th, and that will be at 9 a.m.
All right, you're dismissed.
No, you're not free to leave yet,
He did it again.
Mr. Schuster.
I'm not free to leave.
Not yet. No, you're not.
Why am I not free to leave?
Because we are still addressing your matter.
This matter needs to be
Yeah,
dismissed.
it's not going to be dismissed right now. So
That's
right now it's getting
dismissed
set
because
for
you cannot
trial.
move any further until you prove jurisdiction.
And the readiness hearing will be July 31st, and that will be at 2 p.m.
I don't know how someone has the audacity to do this, even if they think they're right. I get uncomfortable at a fast food restaurant asking them to not put pickles on my burger. You're yelling at a judge in court?
And that
Where do people get the audacity?
hearing, Mr. Schuster, is on Zoom.
Any jurisdiction over me whatsoever. I've not pleaded. I've not given you personal jurisdiction,
Yes.
and you practice law on the bench.
So, Mr. Schuster, if you choose not to come to your court hearings, a warrant will issue for your
And now you're
arrest.
threatening me again, telling me
Yes,
if I don't.
you will be
play your
expected
game,
to appear.
and you just said yes. Oh my goodness.
He's not white. I don't think he's white. This guy isn't white. That's what I like. He's a dude, but he's not white.
If I don't play your game, you will put me in captivity. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep, these are jailable offenses, but for this
Absolutely
hearing,
ridiculous, Ms.
we need
Jennifer.
your presence to appear.
Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, let's get a court date form for him.
Absolutely ridiculous.
What's the date for the intervening trial?
What happened to the guy who claimed he was king of America? Russell-J. Gould? Because I have a video of his today. Other than that, I'm not sure. No, I wasn't talking to you, AI Google phone bullshit that you put on my phone without asking.
Did you get back there?
We can set a pre-trial. Let's do it on the 22nd.
There's an implied threat behind the expectation to obey law in our society. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
The state has monopoly on violence.
Prosecuting attorney
Look
also
your phone up. How did that happen? What did I even say that sounded like the thing? I won't say it because I don't want to activate people's phones.
needs to provide any contracts that I've entered into internationally,
Here's your court date. Could you please sign? for that?
especially if this is an admiralty maritime jurisdiction, which obviously by the gold fringe flag it is. So
Oh, he did the gold fringe. That's an old Sovset thing. You don't hear that one as much anymore. Very 90s Sovset.
Mr. Schuster, you are in a criminal court and there are court rules. If you wish
criminal
to
matter, this is a criminal matter, you said?
Mr. Schuster, if you wish to have discovery, then
There's not actually a Queen of Canada, but there is a woman who claims she is. Romana Didulo. She's a QAnon person. She's gotten a lot of people in trouble.
you need to abide by the rules.
Criminal
She
matter?
runs a cult, basically.
Yes, and if you
Yes,
wish to have,
these are-
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure you said that. Thank you.
it's a criminal matter. If you wish to receive discovery, then you will need to make.
What is the jurisdiction? Are we under an admiralty maritime jurisdiction?
No, we are not.
Oh, I said his name and it's similar. Yep. I see how that would happen.
Are we under a common law? What jurisdiction are we under?
We are under the criminal jurisdiction of the state of Washington. So if you wish to have discovery, then
I think we've watched her a few times, but not a ton.
you need to request,
I gave you my permission to be under that jurisdiction, which I haven't.
you will need to request discovery from the prosecutor's office.
I'm not a U.S. citizen, American national. That's not a jurisdiction.
If you wish to have discovery, you need to request it in writing from the prosecutor's office and we will
You said your
send.
nationality was a U.S.
And then
citizen.
we,
Is that what you
and then
said
we will,
earlier?
and then we will send you the discovery,
Not nationality.
all of the evidence that we have against you at trial. Did you understand that?
I don't understand what's
Okay.
going on with this.
So-
This is ridiculous.
Here's my
Kangaroo
suggestion,
court.
Mr.
Absolutely.
Schuster.
Kangaroo
Mr.
court. And so
Mr.
since you
Schuster.
guys are gonna waste everybody's time even more, Goodbye.
Mr. Schuster, you need to sign for your court dates. I'm giving them to you orally.
Have a good day. Talofa.
If you don't appear for your court hearings that were given today, a warrant will issue.
You walked out.
All right.
All right, so that I will mail. We can mail them to him, but I will note for the record that Mr. Schuster was provided with his court dates for pretrial as well as the trial setting. He's refused to
Schuster, I think. Schuster.
sign for those dates. He
Reminds
does
you of the Rick and Morty court sketch. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
not want the assistance of Mr. Parent, and he is refusing to go through the colloquy.
Where's the bailiff? This looks like a really small courtroom. I don't know if this courtroom has a bailiff. I don't think it does. Really small communities with small courts, especially if it's like a matter like this where it's like a drunk driving or something, they don't necessarily have bailiffs in every courtroom.
To represent himself. And he
Don't get
has
me wrong,
left.
I'm sure there are sheriffs in the building that they could call, one or two, but they're not like in every court. Okay, let's see what is next. Let's check in on Chilie. There's a couple brief videos by him outlining a quick update, and then him talking about how to fix jail.
Hello world, today's June 29th. By the time you'll hear this, it'll be July 1st, 2024. My name is Chille DeCastro. I'm a journalist. I've been wrongfully imprisoned in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is almost the 4th month of me being locked up inside of this dungeon.
2 more to go!
We are 10 days away from my appeal. The appeal, we have clearly proved our case.
The appeal briefs have been pretty interesting. I haven't covered them in depth just because I don't think there's a lot of interest for you guys. Like, it's not like entertaining stuff, it's just kind of vaguely interesting, like, oh, kind of weird that he tries to write like that. He writes a little... How do I explain this? Chilie kind of writes like you can tell he wants to be a lawyer, so he writes the way he thinks lawyers write. That makes sense? So it's a little interesting. But, mostly he's just making the same bad arguments, trying to claim he was arrested for filming when he wasn't.
Clearly proved our case, and I should be released. This case should be overturned on appeal. This is a real test right now to see if the judicial system is going to work.
This is a stock footage that he's using. Not even him. He has an editor that he, like, calls, has them record the phone call, and then they edit these videos together.
It's supposed to work. The way the judicial system is supposed to work is you're supposed to have case precedent that creates case law. In this particular instance, we have the First Amendment that I have a right to film police.
And then you weren't arrested for filming.
We have several cases.
You were not charged with anything for filming. You were charged with obstruction.
Glick versus Cunniff, and more importantly, Wilson versus First District of Nevada Judicial, where it clearly establishes that obstruction is a physical act, and that I have to go there to obstruct the police with the intent to hinder, delay, or obstruct them. As you know, I'm a First Amendment auditor. I filmed hundreds of police, and my intent is to get the shot. Contrary to what the biased and unprincipled Judge Ann Zimmerman said, I do not want to get arrested.
Continually calling her biased and unprincipled is going to help your case.
I do not want the smoke. I want to film the cops. I want them to be able to take on my provocative and challenging language and be able to respect my First Amendment rights.
Didn't he walk through a crime scene? That's another case that he's in the middle of adjudicating right now from jail. So that case actually hasn't gone to trial yet, I don't believe. So that's a separate one. This one is for when he walked up to the traffic stop and started talking with the woman who was pulled over, and the cop was like, hey, give her some privacy, give her some space, back up, and he refused, and then he started yelling at the cop and called him a doggy, which, you know, some people like being called a doggy, but you gotta ask for consent. You can't just do that to people.
Right, that's what I want. So this has been a long and arduous journey. This has been absolutely horrible. My blood pressure is really bad because I'm being fed really horrible food.
Hey,
I'm being treated absolutely horrible. There's just no other way to put it. I'm treated just poorly. but I'm not being beaten. I'm not getting hit with hoses or kicked or stomped. So those are positives. You mean it's not an actual torture chamber where they're beating you? Nope, it's not that. So at least
So not a dungeon. Cool.
at least that is not happening. And people will say to me, and people will say to you, oh, well, go to jail in Mexico or North Korea. Well, if we're comparing America.
I love how he tried to use him insulting the cop as a way to claim the cop was biased. I know, right? And to be clear, hey, I think it's your First Amendment right to call cops whatever you want. Is it the smartest thing to do in front of them? Probably not. But, like, I think you have a right to do it. The issue wasn't even necessarily him calling names. The issue was what he was doing was actively interfering with the cop's ability to do the traffic stop and caused problems. So, whatever. Chilie just being a dumbass.
To Mexico or North Korea, well, then we got some big problems, don't we? Because we're supposed to be the land of the brave, the home of the free. And what sucks is that coming up here in just 4 days, will be the 4th of July, and I will be sitting in this dungeon listening to fireworks going off here in Las Vegas as I'm unjust.
Las Vegas fireworks are probably pretty interesting. Profane Priestess says, you'd think these people would change their minds the 3rd, 4th, 5th time they or people like them are arrested and or put in jail. Clearly the state is power, so even if he were right and judges were corrupt, it doesn't matter. There's a saying amongst many social scientists, self-included, the purpose of a system is what it does. Even if they were right, the courts use power, and there hasn't been enough of a protest or revolution to stop them, so they have power. They don't get that. I do wonder if some of them are aware of that and hope that they are the first, match that ignites some sort of, like, revolution or something. I don't know. It's interesting. Nearest Crow Hill, what do you want me to look up in Black's Law Dictionary?
Locked up in the Clark County Detention Center. There needs to be a constitutional amendment in every state. Maybe a constitutional amendment for the United States of America. No victim, no crime, no jail time.
So someone gets caught drunk driving multiple times because there's no victim yet. They shouldn't ever go to jail? Don't know how I feel about that.
Know it.
Whatever entry I want on page 69. Alright. Easy enough. Go to page 69. 67. 69. A priori, Latin, from the cause to the effect, from what goes before, a term used in logic to denote an argument founded on analogy or abstract considerations, or one which, positing a general principle or admitted truth as a cause, proceeds to deduce from it the effects which must necessarily follow. Rageology says, hi, I just caught up on the rest of last night's VOD. There's been a lot of doomerism in chat, understandably. If you're feeling it and would like something practical to do, get your passport sorted out. Come up with a list of 5 countries that have strong human rights protections. The cost of fleeing a country is the cost of a plane ticket. Yeah, I need to get a passport. I've never had one. I should probably get one! Rageology says, from my own family history from the first time around of fascism, I know that it's easier to survive on the goodwill of others in a country that doesn't want you disappeared than to stay in your own country when it does. They all lived long lives and achieved things. Yeah, I'm lucky in that I live in Michigan. I'm close to the Canadian border, relatively speaking, so, here's hoping.
Now I'm not afraid to show it. No victim, no crime, no jail time. Listen, we are 10 days away. You guys are more than welcome to come. It'll be at the district court here in Las Vegas, Nevada, in front of Judge Michelle Levitt. I hope that as many people come as possible. We want to fill that courtroom if we can. And if they block you at the door, I'm already filing a lawsuit against the other judge for not letting my people come in. And of the dozen people who showed up last time, I have...
Oh, he's suing the judge because they wouldn't let a bunch of sovereign citizens come in the courtroom and disturb things. Great.
4 of those people who are going to sign on the lawsuit with me. You cannot bar the public from coming into my public hearing. And that's what dishonorable Ann Zimmerman did at my last hearing. So, look, We're only 10 days away. Real quick shout out to Melissa. Thank you for putting money on my books, Melissa. I appreciate it. I really have survived on the kindness of strangers as I am inside of this dungeon. And I guess that Melissa and Alan, Coke Dog, and Gloria, and P. Boyer, and David, and with Drophead 74, I guess that a lot of you guys are...
Geology says this was my plan for when that happened, and is my plan for if the far right take over after 5 years of centrists being in power and failing to tackle them.
Yeah. Not strangers, because you know me inside and out now. I've been talking publicly for almost 3 years. I have 3,000 videos where I've expressed a position that is against this despotic government. So you know my position. You know how I feel. You know what I believe. Those things haven't changed. What has changed is we have to actually implement the change through the legislative process to make it so that if there's no victim and there's no crime, then there's no jail time. That has to become a thing. This government wants to put you in jail if they don't like you, and that's what they've done to me here. So when I get out of here, we will file lawsuits. We will file a lawsuit against this judge. She's going to have judicial immunity. We're going to see if we can get around her judicial immunity. I've already filed a lawsuit against that copper. And now the prosecutor's going to have to face a lawsuit as well for malicious prosecution. She clearly put me in jail based on a lie, because I did back up. She said that I did back up. So she's going to have to face that lawsuit. I mean, she's a prosecutor, she's a lawyer, so she's going to go defend it. But we have to push the issue. We have to continue to fight using our First Amendment right to petition. Petition is your lawsuit. It is your complaint. So we don't stop. We don't stop under any conditions. No matter what occurs, we don't stop. 10 days till the appeal. Thank you guys for your support. I'll let you guys go. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later, Gators.
There's update number 1 from Chilie. Real quick, here is his second video that came out yesterday.
Hello, world. Today is July 1st, 2024. My name is Chille DeCastro. I am a journalist and First Amendment auditor. I've been wrongfully imprisoned in the Clark County Detention Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been here since March 19th, 2024. I was charged with obstruction for filming a cop. And then the biased and unprincipled judge, Ann Zimmerman, then sentenced me to jail, 6 months in jail, for filming a cop. No victim, no crime, no restitution due, no damage done, but yet she still put me in jail with no criminal record. This is my daily journalistic update. Right now, we are 9 days away. Today is July 1st. You may not hear this till July 2nd or July 3rd, but today's July 1st. We will have an appeal hearing, finally, in front of Michelle Levitt in the district court on July 10th, 2024. I've been in here for so long, it's unbelievable. The system of jailing people in America has to be examined. Let me ask you a very intelligent question that you can use your basic logic to answer. Why isn't there a text message service? If you miss a court date, or you miss your child support payment, or you didn't pay a ticket, or whatever it may be, why you're going to get a warrant, why isn't there a text message service? Why can't the state, the county, the city, why can't they send you a text message and say, hey, John Smith?
Chilie, they send you official court mail. They send you official documents in the mail. They already do this. They just do it via letter because it goes to the post office. Do you know how easily people would get scammed if they were getting... You already get scam text messages that say, like, oh... You broke the law. If you don't send us a bunch of Amazon gift cards, we're gonna come arrest you. I really don't think we should have a system that's gonna confuse even more boomers into getting their shit stolen by scammers.
Smith, you have a warrant. You didn't show up for your child support hearing.
Yeah, you're an adult. You don't know when your hearing is? Why don't you know when your court shit is?
Do you want to come in on this date, or this date? Why isn't there a text message service? Additionally, if you're going to be put in jail...
How would you know the text was official?
Why can't
That's why they send you, like, certified mail.
You have 24 to 72 hours to get your affairs in order. When that dirty Judge Zimmerman put me in jail, She then put me in jail immediately, directly from the courtroom. I didn't have time.
Wampa says, I thought Chilie didn't have an address, so maybe no mailbox he consistently has access to. When you get arrested or something, they need a mailing address. Like, if you have some sort of court issue, you have to give them a mailing address. Even if it's not your home, you need somewhere that can accept mail for this reason.
Time to get my business affairs in orders. 3 people lost their jobs because she put me in jail immediately. Why do you...
Chilie, in what universe did you have to employ multiple people for your YouTube channel? You and what, an editor? Who are the other 3 people? He claimed that he had hired 6 people for his YouTube channel. 6 people. For what?
You have to be
Steve with a Q says, why don't they give you 24 to 36 hours to skip that, the stat? I mean, get your affairs in order. Wait, what?
arrested from the
I don't know what you mean.
street and taken immediately to the dungeon? Why does your car need to be impounded? Let's say, for example, that you have a warrant for an unpaid traffic ticket. An unpaid traffic ticket. Follow me here? Okay, you get pulled over and they say you didn't pay a traffic ticket, you got a warrant. You didn't get a text message, you never got a warning that there was a warrant, and by the way,
I understand, I get what you're saying.
the automated text messaging system could warn you morning, noon, and night. You have a warrant. If a cop runs your license plate, they're going to pull you over, impound your car, and you're going to go to jail.
Yeah, you should probably handle that. Phraseology says, just to finish up, as the UK looks like it's going to be relatively safe for trans people for the next few years, I and my partner have enough space to take on 3 people for as long as it's safe here. Oh, nice.
If there's a text messaging service, then the second part of this message that I'm leaving for you now would not be as valid. If there was...
He was sentenced in March, right? So he's stuck till September. Yes, assuming that his appeal fails, which I think it will. Yeah, he's there till September at least. He has another matter going to trial over something similar, so stuff might get added, depending on how that goes. But yeah, September, I think, is as of right now when he'll get out.
Only a text messaging service. And remember, you get automated texts from every kind of business in the world. During the pandemic, how many texts...
Oh my god, he's a COVID, like, conspiracy theorist? Oh god! I heard an L in there. I heard an L in there, regardless of what YouTube captions say.
Did you get on your phone telling you that 2 million Californians were going to die? Why can't you get a text message? But let's say, for example, that you didn't get a text message. You get pulled over, you didn't pay a traffic ticket, you didn't make it to your child support hearing, and then what happens? The cop says, you got a warrant for your arrest. So listen, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 48 hours to get your affairs in order. Go park your car, go tell your boss you're not coming to work, go talk to your...
Chilie, a lot of people do get that. I think Chilie's confused because he was immediately taken into custody when he was sentenced. He is under the impression that that happens to everyone. No, Chilie, people often will get sentenced and then be told, hey, you need to report to jail on such and such date. That'll happen. You specifically were taken into custody immediately because you're a flight risk, because the judge had on the record that you have multiple failure to appears, including in Ironton, Ohio, where you fled from a misdemeanor charge. They arrested you specifically because you have a history of fleeing from charges. Most people in a situation like you would be told, hey, we're going to have you report next week to the county jail. You didn't get that because you have proven yourself to be untrustworthy. Radiology says, I promise only terrible cooking, but a good book collection.
Your wife, get your banking in order, get your children lined out so that you have someone to watch your children, and then come and check in at the police department or even the jail. But I want to go with the Australian method. Jailing is failing. It is not making our society better or safer. How's the crime report in your city, state, or town? How's the crime report? Crime's never
Fine. Oh, he just lies here.
been worse.
That's objectively untrue. Crime's been growing down since, like, the 70s.
So locking up people for minor infractions infractions of the law, for not showing up for court, for whatever it may be, it's not making our society better. What it is making is a group called GEO Group or Core Civic. These are the prison and industrial systems that they have now made multi-billion-dollar corporations based on
Yes, private prisons are shit.
taking you to jail. If there's a text messaging service, then you're not going to go to jail, because then you get a text message.
No one will go to jail if they just get a text message, is kind of a bold statement.
Says, hey, John Smith, you missed your court date on April 8th. Are you available on April 21st, April 22nd, or April 23rd? It can all be done by artificial intelligence. You put, I'm available April 22nd. Great. We have slots available at 8 a.m. or noon. Which one can
It's not an option. Like, you don't get to just blow off your court date and then reschedule. It's taken seriously.
make? Noon. Great. Hey, John, we are confirmed. If you miss court again, they're going to come to your work. They're going to come and impound your car. They're going to...
Chilie, that's already the understanding everyone else already has. Why do you need the extra step? He literally just wants an extra step so he can flee the state. It really feels like this system only benefits him in the sense that it gives him the opportunity to run away.
take you to jail. Do you understand the consequences of missing again? Yes, I do. And then, ready for this? Can you imagine this? A text message comes in.
It reminds me of how he says he doesn't want handcuffs to be a thing, and he just wants them to put, like, Apple, tracker things, whatever they're called, the Apple tags or whatever, and just, like, use cameras to find people. He wants a system that he believes will allow him to get away from his crimes as often as possible.
Then every day, once or twice a day, whether you like it or not, telling you that you have court on April 22nd at noon. Could you imagine that? And the text message service could all be done through automation. Can you imagine it? You wouldn't have to lock people up. You wouldn't have to steal their cars. You wouldn't have to put their kids in a horrible position. They'd be able to get their banking done. They'd be able to check in with their boss and say, hey, look, I'm in trouble. I got to go deal with this legal system stuff. But then you know what would happen? Less people would go to jail dramatically. A dramatic amount of people less would go to jail. And you know what that would do? That would cut into the profits of GEO Group and Core Civic is what that would do. And they don't want that. But when I get out of here, I'm going to write a bill, and I'm going to put it into the committee.
He's gonna write a bill. Chilie's gonna write a bill. I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill, and I got written by this stupid fool. That's a slant rhyme if I've ever heard one.
I'm going to submit it to the different Congress people in Nevada and in California, and we're going to get a text message service done for people so that if you miss court or you have a warrant, you get a warning. You get
You do. You get warnings already through the mail, Chilie. Most people have a mailing address of some kind.
several warnings. And then if you get pulled over by the cops, just step one here is the text message service. Step two is you get pulled over, you have a warrant, and then the copper says, okay, look, you got a warrant, but here's what we're going to do. Going to give you 48 hours to get your affairs in order. Go park your car, take an Uber.
That's so funny. He's already planning second offenses on not listening in this system. Even he's aware that this is bullshit, so he's like, all right, when you don't listen the first time, because of course you won't, the second time. Bittergrin says, it's kind of telling that he believes his experience is universal and has no idea that other people have different experiences. Yeah, a little solipsistic.
Uber down to the jail and you're going to have to check in. Or come down in 48 hours with the money that you owe for your
Demoronix. Gothgeek Gaming says, happy 4th, Hannah, and to you.
ticket or for your child support. Could you imagine that? Giving somebody 48 hours to get the money together for their
But they already had time to do that. I don't understand, Chilie. Why do you think this extra notice is going to be like, okay, now it's for real? It was real before. These were already obligations that these people in hypothetical had. So why does this extra text message or whatever make them go, oh yeah, I had that responsibility? They already had it. The text isn't going to change it. I'm confused. it implies that the only reason anyone doesn't pay child support or doesn't show up to court is because they forgot. Which is like, I'm sure that happens occasionally. I don't think that's the primary reason people don't show up to court or pay child support.
Action of the law. Could you imagine that? Oh my goodness. Could you only imagine it? Giving them 48 hours.
Look forward to Chilie's horrible bill. I would pay to read it. It would be pretty fun.
They owe $5,800 on child support that's not paid. Now you got 48 hours to run around like a madman, or you go check yourself into the jail in 48 hours. Could you imagine? And then the women who have the children that need the child support money would get it. And instead, you're putting someone in jail who cannot go collect $5,800. They can't do it because they're in a dungeon. You took away their phone so they can't reach their employer. They lose their job. They're 1 month behind on their car payment already. Now they're 2. Now their car gets stolen, put in the impound yard. Now it's going to be repossessed. You ruin their life over a traffic ticket or unpaid child support. We've got to get to a place where the government...
Chilie, I feel, has ignored the fact that in that scenario, there were about 1 million opportunities for the hypothetical person to deal with their shit before they were arrested.
Works for the people, not against us, for the
Very
big
strange.
corporations of Geo Group and CoreCivic. That's where we have to get. We have to get a text message service. If you miss court or you have a warrant, that you get a warning. Could you only imagine that? Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. You could actually work for the people. I just read a book called Bully Pulpit. The book is about the relationship between Teddy Roosevelt and William Howard Taft. And I have to retract some things I've said about Taft. I learned a lot about it. It's a 750-page book, so I read it.
It's so funny to me that he always brings up how many pages the book he's reading currently is. Like, someone's going to be impressed, like, wow, you read a 750-page book, Chilie. Wow, how many book it points did you get for that one? Like, yeah, great. Yep, okay.
In the dungeon, I got nothing but time, so I read the book. Now, let me tell you something. Taft and both Theodore Roosevelt had a vision that the government worked for the people. So remember, Teddy Roosevelt's going to be president from 1901 to 1909, and then after him, William Howard Taft's going to be president from 1909 to 1913. This was the very first progressives, what we would call liberal democratic progressives, are what Teddy Roosevelt and William Howard Taft would be back then. Back then, corporations weren't regulated at all. There was no income tax. The income tax wasn't passed until suggested by Taft in 1909, and then it passed with the 16th Amendment in, I think it was 1913.
Green guy with a $5 tip. Ooh, first tip to the 3rd costume month. Says, Hannah, happy grilling and traumatize your pets with fireworks day. Wife and I bought you something at Pride and we're getting around to sending it. Oh, thank you. I'm excited to find out what it is. Thanks for the tip, too.
So, 1917. Anyway, the point is this. These gentlemen, both of them, Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft, had the vision that the government worked for the people, that it worked to benefit the people.
Anywhere on his board game, he sporadically mentioned it, claiming he's still working on it.
The idea of Social Security and insurance and a safety net for people was first figured out by Theodore Roosevelt, not
I'm sorry, did you just say Theodore Roosevelt invented insurance?
Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Franklin Delano Roosevelt then worked on what his relative 40 years earlier got.
You thought he was an objectivist? He's whatever book he's reading right now. He's the kind of person that, like, whatever media, book, movie, TV show that he is, like, currently engrossed in becomes his worldview. Because he's, like, I don't know how to explain this. People know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you've ever met anyone like this. Where, like, sure, they have, like, a core personality, but they always have some new thing they're into. That for, like, a week while they're reading a specific book or something, they'll be really into whatever that book is. But in kind of a superficial way, not in a way, like, everyone gets excited and maybe wants to talk about stuff they're reading or whatever. That's fine. I just mean, they act like it's their new ethos until next week when they're reading a new thing, and then that's their ethos.
Pushing forward, and then Franklin Delano Roosevelt got Social Security put in place for us today. How many people out there right now have SSI?
Delanor, he did say Delanor.
Social Security insurance. a government that works for the people. And this is exactly what I'm suggesting now. I see myself as what you would call a classic liberal.
He gets in a phase of really liking something. Yeah, like, it reminds me as a kid, like, one month I'd be really into Spider-Man, and I'd hyperfixate on Spider-Man, and then the next month, maybe I'd be into, like, Ben 10, for, like, that month.
I may
Ayn Rand is Chilie's Ben 10.
not agree with a word you have to say, but I'll die for your right to be able to say it. I have a vision that there is a social safety net, but we're not going anywhere near socialism or communism. That's ridiculous. I mean, any intelligent person does not want socialism or communism. It just, we've seen it around the world. It doesn't work. But here's the point. We need a government that works for the people. Right now, I've met several men in this jail who were arrested for child support. I met a guy who didn't make his child support hearing. He had an unpaid traffic ticket, so they sent the cops to his work where he's the supervisor. He runs a crew of 6 dudes. They arrested him in front of his crew.
Okay, he says that like we're supposed to be like, oh my god, they arrested him in front of the other guys he works with. Like, okay, pay your fucking child support. What the fuck?
He had to leave his tools right there on the concrete slab, and they took him to the dungeon. He was up to date on his child support payments, so he didn't go to the hearing because he's up to date on his child support hearings.
Apparently not.
But apparently if you don't show up for a hearing, then that's arrestable.
Yeah, it's a court hearing. It's not optional. It's not optional, Chilie. Oh, what? All of a sudden I have to listen to the court when they send me a summons? Yes! Unironically! Yes!
Paid ticket as well, to be fair. I'm going to interview him when I get out. But it's not the point. Why couldn't he get a...
You have 1 minute left.
Why couldn't he get a text message that said, hey, Arthur, you didn't make the hearing and you have an unpaid traffic ticket. You got a warrant for your arrest. What date can you make court? That's what I'm talking about. A government that works for the people. And it starts first with a text messaging service, a text messaging center, an alert center that works for the people so that we're not arresting people, impounding their car, and ruining their lives. We are 9 days away from my appeal, 9 days away, July 10th. Pray for me. If you can make the appeal hearing, I'd love to see you. Thank you guys so much for your support. You can't imagine. From the money on my books to the iCare gift packages you guys have sent me, thank you. I appreciate you. I love you. I'll see you on the next one. Later.
I wish I was in the Las Vegas area. I'd go to his hearing. Anyone here in the Las Vegas area? How dare you not go to his hearing for me? Let's see what's next. Marcel's doing great.
Peacemaker Society. Welcome to your new freedom. Time to break the chains of corporate slavery.
Time to get your rights back. Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society. Let's break the chains and do our thing. Goodbye corporate slavery. Let's all take our freedom back. Peacemaker Society.
Yeah, he paid someone on Fiverr to make this for him. Radiology says, it would be nice if all the conspiracy theorists and Sovsits had a hard time limit. The Rothschilds, beep, 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 you have run out of phone time.
Registered, unincorporated, middle finger to the man, yeah dog, we made it. We've been dragged down to the bottom, no more of that now, we got him. But you gotta make a choice, freedom or slavery, so easy to see. There's too much wrong in that GOP, and you're a victim with the legal ID. Yeah, we wanna make it free, walk with me, open your eyes to see. We don't need it, I don't know more.
Gothgeek Gaming says, us trans folk, can we have basic human rights? Chilie, best I can give you is a text message service so you can skip town.
All starts with a simple dream. Corruption is really something. Look at a life, stop being stunted. Stop being hunted and break the chains. Your freedom
oh, damn. Look at those fucking silver Canadian dollars.
Time to get your rights back. Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society. corporate slavery. Let's all take our freedom back. Peacemaker Society, yeah.
Oh nah, don't vaccinate, come citizenship slavery. Time to escape, Peacemaker Society. That's
So he's trying to get people to come and join his sovereign citizen multi-level marketing scheme. This poster says, "Fuck Trudeau and save freedom. Can you sell? You will sell how to reclaim freedom and self-governance. If you are hardworking and believe in freedom, have hustler motivation and energy for making money, contact us today. You can earn $200 to $500 daily. We help found private law self-governing societies, get people out of income tax, most legal debt, and titles, rights to house, car, kids, and self back. Kids aren't your property, sir."
way out the dark.
Also exempts men and women from legal system rules, which are not law. Legality is not law. That's what the rest of it says. Rageology says the symbols of a dead queen and a maple leaf really screams cool. That always gets me whenever he tries to show off his money, and it's Canadian money. Like, obviously, I get, like, there's no, like, rational reason for me to find Canadian money funny. It's actually cooler looking than American money in a lot of ways, and the security features are way cooler. But it does make me laugh because it doesn't immediately ping in my brain as money. So when you see someone doing, you know, the making it rain shit, it's just hilarious to me because it divorces it from the symbol of the money. So it's just lays bare how ridiculous our obsession with, like, money is. I don't know. I'm probably thinking about it too hard.
Today, it's your freedom, your way, and online you start right away. Feel the power of natural law, cause you own it all, straight up raw. Contract law,
Straight up raw.
Shaking my head just like police beatings. We going global, we staying noble. Freedom's here, we the ones to go to. No more suffering, time to usher in the right to live, right to win. Let's begin. You gotta join the squad, eliminate all the madness going on.
Time to get your rights back. Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society. Let's break the chain.
Ooh, he's got cards. I was gonna say I have cards too, but I can't find the business card now. Altered Undying says, as a Canadian, our money is hilarious. And then there's a link. Oh, someone made, Spock. Cool. Rageology says, we still haven't had our money updated to Charlie Boy. I think they're betting him not lasting long, so saving the cost of changing it for just the length of a few years. Smart, probably.
Let's all take our freedom back.
How to set up private law, family, individual, or business trusts. Get title to house, car, kids, and self back. Also a tax, shelter, bank account, and 100% legal. It was not legal. Birth certificates are slavery bonds. Turn men and women into a corporation. Literally human trafficking. Proven. 1985 Canadian Ownership, Control, and Determination Act. Persons owning other persons. 3-letter restores title and rights stolen from you can make you rich / generational wealth.
Politicians, police, lawyers, judges. Hell no, I want none of it. Taking all my rights away. No more, nah, not today. Politicians, police, lawyers, judges. Hell no, I want none of it. Taking all my rights away. No more, nah, not today. Join Peacemaker Society by getting your own global sacred freedom and rights membership.
Oh no, he looped it!
Peacemaker Society. Welcome to your new freedom. Time to break the chains of corporate slavery.
Time to get your rights back. Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society. Let's break the chains and do our thing. Goodbye corporate slavery. Let's all take our freedom back.
I will say one thing. I'm not big on gold or silver in particular, but silver coins are the most satisfying currency, and you click them together. They make a really satisfying noise. So I will say that. As someone who likes particular stims, oh boy. I like that he's intentionally making it tactile and moving it all around. Oh, a gold chain too. That'll be good when you get arrested.
We wanna make it free. Walk with me, open your eyes and see. We all need it, I don't know more. It all starts with a simple dream. Corruption is really something. Look at our life, stop being stunted. Stop being hunted and break the chains. Your freedom lives here. Join the
Yeah, this is Marcel.
campaign.
Rayline says, wait, $200 a day is only $735 to $1837 US for a 5-day work week. That's not nothing, but it's not a lot of money. Depends on who you are. Some people, that's a lot of money. A lot of people, that's a decent amount of money.
Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society, let's break the chains and do our thing. Built by corporate slavery, let's all take our freedom back. Peacemaker Society, yeah.
Oh, nah, dump backs and that citizenship slavery. Time to escape. Peacemaker Society.
Oh, definitely not generational wealth, no.
That's the way out the dark to a brighter day.
Yeah, Marcel's on YouTube.
Yo, freedom, yo way.
He mostly posts to Rumble, but he occasionally posts on YouTube.
Online, you start right away. Feel the power
Lighter?
of natural
Oh,
law. 'Cause
no, he's got an ounce of gold? Okay.
you own it all, straight up raw. Contract law, let's supersede it. Shaking my head just like police beatings. We going global, we staying noble. Freedom's here, we the ones to go.
I don't know, I'd probably put that in like a treasury bond or something.
No more
Probably grow better over the next 10 years, whatever.
suffering. Time to usher in the right to live, right to win. Let's begin. You gotta join the squad, eliminate all the madness going on.
Time to get your rights back. Time for you to fight back. Yeah, I know you like that. Peacemaker Society, let's break the chains and do our thing. Built by corporate
He's just bragging
slavery.
about all the money he's made off his scam in this video. I don't even think this is money he's made off this scam. I think this is probably money he's gotten from his weed business. But he wants to make it look like he makes a ton of money doing this Peacemaker Society stuff so people join. But I don't think that that's his primary income, nor do I think it's ever been his primary income. I think it's a side grift he's been trying to start for the last 10 years, and it never fully takes off because he's impossible to work with. Rachology says, look at all this money he could be investing in sensible things like books, Blu-rays, or cat ears. Oh, fuck. Okay, I feel a little called out. I feel very called out. Damn, I'm a non-functional human being. What am I doing with my life? Would someone in crisis buy all these movies?
Freedom back. Peacemaker Society, yeah.
Police, lawyers, judges. Hell no, I want none of it. Taking all my rights.
Oh, that's
away.
the Jurassic Park font. That's kind of weird.
No more.
What? Just because growing up, I didn't have very present parents, so I had to engross myself in the world of fiction through movies and the VHS tapes I owned as a child. Because of that, and because of the dire state of the world, do you think I'm overbuying Blu-rays over the last 10 years in order to capture some essence of feeling belonging to something that was the only comfortable place in my childhood? You're crazy. What are you talking about? Terradona says, all this flexing is cop bait. Hats off. What do you want me to wear, Rachology? I know what to wear. Cat ears? I assume you want me to put on the cat ears. I just gotta find them.
Nah, not today. Politicians, police, lawyers, judges. Hell no, I want none of it. Taking all my rights away. No more. Nah, not today. Join Peacemaker Society by getting your own global sacred freedom and rights membership.
Yeah. Found them.
Peacemaker Society.
Oh God, he started it again! There, you happy? Now I'm some kind of horrifying dinosaur cat person. What even is this character at this point? Speaking of Marcel, he did another monthly meeting with his team.
Okay, hello everybody. It is Marcel of the Family Bassett, Chief Justice of Peacemaker Society, as well as for
Chief Justice. He's a Chief Justice. You're fucked.
privatlawtrust.org, which is technically a Peacemaker Society program. So what we are doing is we're going to be going through a bunch of updates.
Wait, they re-released Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure on the Switch? Oh, those games aren't even good.
It's going to tie into
I want it though.
why I'm wearing gold. And then we're going to get into a whole bunch of exciting stuff that's happening, different programs we have, different things you guys are going to want to study.
Yeah, I guess he's in his bling phase. I don't know why. Like, I know there's a practical purpose to jewelry like this. If you get arrested, it's part of your possessions, and it's not like cash that can be easily taken by the police. But, like, why is he doing it?
Bunch of flyers we're putting out. We're basically leveling. That's kind of the theme of this meeting, I guess, is just leveling things up on my end in the things that we do. And then obviously we'll open it up so you guys can discuss any questions or concerns or anything on your mind as well. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the reason that I'm wearing gold is because
Oh, that laugh creeped me out.
Any questions or concerns or anything on your mind as well. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the reason that I'm wearing gold. Is because we are starting to officially sell gold and silver.
Oh God, what? He's expanding the grift. Oh God, that explains the video where he's showing off all the gold and silver, because he bought it to sell to people. He bought it to sell to people.
So whether it's bars.
Apparently selling freedom isn't as lucrative as he thought, so it's time to sell gold.
Or we have silver coins. I'm gonna make sure I don't drop it on my computer.
Imagine you're one of the people that signed up to this to sell freedom, and all of a sudden he comes in one day and is like, all right, we're selling gold and silver now. Wouldn't a red flag pop up for you? To go like, oh no, is this a grift? Harold Elbleman with a 3-stream streak says, depressing historical fact, enslaved people in the US used to carry the little money they were able to earn on chains around their necks since they had nothing else. I've seen them, either pieces of 8 or dice, spelled dicks, as in Dixie, with little holes in them, some sized for children, i.e. generational wealth. Oof.
Literally lots. So we're at the point basically that you guys are going to be able to purchase silver and gold through us. I found a
Why, Marcel? Why would I purchase through you?
A reputable supplier on a local basis. And what I learned is if you buy gold or silver from the bank, they track it with your social insurance number, apparently, in Canada. So the nice thing about if you guys decide to get it through us is it's private. We don't keep track of how much you have. We don't keep records on that kind of stuff. You have every right to buy gold and silver if you want to, and it's nobody's business how much you have or what you're doing with it or any of that. So that's kind of exciting. So it's going to be on fullsovereign.org, which I'm going to get busy working on this week, try and get it up within the next week or so, because we're ready to start pushing a bunch of stuff. And this ties into some other things that we're doing as well. So for the silver coins, we have it from the mint there.
Marcel is the NPC you don't want to take quests from. Marcel is a Grand Theft Auto character that somehow came into the real world, is how I would describe him. He's like a character you get missions from in a Grand Theft Auto game, but somehow escaped the Matrix.
0.9999 ounces, and I hate the other side, barf, but whatever. her face is on it. If you get the silver bars, they don't have her face on it. That's my only thing I don't like about these, is that witch is on it. And then again, we have gold as well. And the people that I get from also have access to platinum. So basically any precious metal you guys want, just let me know. And until the website is up, just
Adamantium?
give me a call or a text and we can just set up an appointment to talk about it. It's basically whatever the spot price is per ounce on the different indexes and stock markets and that. And then there's also a privacy fee and
Commodities market. Gold's a commodity.
and then the normal broker fee that goes with it as well. So that's basically how that's working. So you can call us or email us if you're interested in getting gold, silver, or precious metals. And yeah, and then I will announce as well, I've always been against smartphones, but I went and I got a fancy smartphone. Now, the reason I did it is because our old smartphone died and I need a camera for photos and if we're doing videos and stuff. And the other reason
Be aware you can just buy a camera that does not have a phone attached to it.
why I got this is because the Love Pod satellite, the satellite pods are here.
If he hates corporations, why is he trusting their prices? When he says corporations, he means the government. I know it's confusing because it's the opposite of reality, but Marcel believes that the Canadian government, the American government, are secretly private corporations. So when he says he hates private corporations, what he's really saying is, I hate the government. I know that that's hard to understand because he's not speaking the same language you and I are. He has private definitions of words that are different than the colloquial usage. So he means he hates the government.
I got it shipped. It unfortunately got shipped to Steinbach, so I just had to get it shipped from Steinbach to Winnipeg, but it should be here by like Tuesday, Wednesday next week. And then from there, we will have them for sale. So that's how come I have the smartphone. For those of you who don't know, the Love Pod is basically satellite internet that you can route your cell phone through as well as get your internet from. It's just under $50 American per month. And it basically replaces your internet provider as well as your cell phone provider. So for $50 American a month, which I think works out to about 70 Canadian a month, you literally, that's your internet bill and that's your cable bill combined, done. If you want to get a hold of me for those, we have the pricing.
So let's see, he's selling freedom, gold, silver, and he's drop shipping little internet Wi-Fi devices. He's doing great. You know what they say, the sign of a good business is just not really focusing on any one thing, just scattershot, throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks.
They have it in American prices, but it basically winds up being between like 300 and 400, probably closer to 400, and then just your monthly service. So you buy the pod.
What's next? A beeper? Are you telling me the outfit Marcel's wearing doesn't scream owns a beeper to you? This is a guy that owns multiple beepers.
Outright, and then it's your monthly service from there. So we are able to start selling those and shipping them out. If you have any questions on that, they will be on fullsovereign.org, but again, that's going to be a week till that's up. So for right now, this week, you're welcome to call me or get a hold of me because we have them. I can take orders, and right now we can direct ship from the Love Pod people direct to you because obviously I'm just getting
There's a good chance those are just devices
ours,
from
so we can test it
Alibaba
and
that
all.
contain software backdoors. Almost certainly. There's some sort of mass-produced, drop-shipped bullshit thing.
All that good stuff. And then the Indigenous representative course. So you may or may not know, but Spirit Warrior, the lawyer that I did that interview with that confirmed all of our work in that, he's officially launched an Indigenous representative counselor course. So it allows you to have standing in court like a lawyer, but being an Indigenous advocate or representative. So this is where you are now entering nation to nation law. So this is, as an Indigenous advocate or representative, you're standing under turtle.
Marcel tries to claim Indigenous status despite not being an Indigenous person in order to get stuff he wants.
Island law of the land. So Indigenous common law, and the actual title that replaces a allodial title is
The way he justifies this, by the way, is we're all indigenous to Earth.
Autochthonous title. Again, I'm not going to spell it out or get into it, but it's in the course that explains it.
Which of those is the chip to take down Mr. House?
And so we have everything that proves
he wants you to get the chip so you can upgrade his Securitrons.
DNA Act was never signed by the Queen. Just all the different things that they passed, that Canada is in fact a corporation. We have all of it. And that the Supreme Court of Canada in the Constitution has now ratified, even though from our perspective in private law, it's all corporate, it's all a fraud, but in their system, we can now finally prove through Supreme Court.
This is random, but it's in my head now that you brought up New Vegas, and this clip has been in my head for months now, and I need to share this with you.
That's not how fucking dialectics works, you stupid cuck! I didn't study Hegel, plus continental philosophy in general, at Harvard for 7 fucking years for some lowlife know-it-all who's clearly never fucking read Hegel, as he would know that Hegel has never fucking ever used the terms thesis, antithesis, synthesis to start perpetuating these lies at every single fucking opportunity! This isn't Hegel, my friend. No. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis was thought up by Fichte, and it's clearly inferior to Hegel's dialectical method of immanent critique. Yes, it's called immanent critique, and dialectics is only one part of Hegel's full method, which again is called immanent critique, which you would know if you had actually bothered to read Hegel. It's literally in the science of logic, you dumb fucking piece of shit! I honestly cannot believe the fucking arrogance to come onto this post spouting that anti-Hegel garbage. Where did you get your fucking info on dialectics? Fucking Jason Unruh? Jesus fucking Christ! I cannot deal with this bullshit right now. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I'm fucking leaving.
Case law
that cracks me up,
that they do not have the right to act on you. So the private law societies fits in with Indigenous common law. So what I teach fits this model.
Anyway, that's why you always kill Caesar.
Exactly.
Also, the slavery isn't great, so.
And we can now have standing in court to enter court as with the same standing a lawyer would have.
You didn't understand that. There's a part in New Vegas where Caesar, who is basically a dictator of a fascist society, talks about Hegel and antithesis and thesis and then synthesis, but that's not really what Hegel did. It led to a lot of people to have incorrect understandings about Hegelian dialectics, the whole thing. Yeah. Either it made you laugh or it didn't. Don't think about it too hard.
Without being a lawyer, and do nation-to-nation law that the legal court has no choice but to recognize, and if they don't, then we just appeal it. And what's interesting, I learned,
to be fair, Caesar in New Vegas is the kind of person who would have a really bad surface level understanding of some sort of philosophical concept, so I don't think that's out of character, but I also don't know if it was intentional.
Is the Supreme Court of Canada was never ratified in the Constitution, where the Indigenous tribunals that were working with like Alliance of Indigenous Nations, they are now. So they basically outrank the Supreme Court. It's very exciting. And basically the Crown and all of what people think of as government agencies are actually a tenant. They're fraudulently granted the highest tenancy that they could have, which makes it seem like they're the landlord, but they're not. And the allodial title they tried to pass in London, because it was in London, it was never ratified properly and cannot have force over here. And anything passed in Ottawa, the whole thing's basically just a fugazi. It's all a fraud. And now we have all of the ins and outs of exactly how to explain that to the courts using Supreme Court of Canada case law, basically, which is super, super exciting. So I definitely recommend people go through that. It's $175 right now. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, it's basically 2 videos that are about 2 hours each video. About half of that is just people talking though. So you have about 2 hours and 15 minutes of actual content, and then about 2 hours of people discussing it, which has good
Take your meds. It's med time for
stuff in
me.
it. Within that, he sends you an entire
Make sure you take your
factum,
meds if
is
it's
what
time.
it's called. So it has all of the Supreme Court case law that proves everything I was just talking about, and all of the private law stuff that we do. So if anyone's interested, I recommend.
I love that he rhetorically gestures towards, like, look at this sheet of papers. This is all my proof, as if that's proof enough.
You can actually.
Well, he has it. It must be there. Why would he offer it to us if it wasn't true?
To be an advocate and have clients and go into court and make money that way.
Reminds me of when Trump was like, I'm divesting from all my businesses, and there was like a table full of documents, but when they looked at them, they were all blank. Rhetorically being like, see, the documents are right there, and it doesn't really matter if there's anything in them. It's a bluff.
And just for your own system.
To be clear, I'm not saying there's nothing in the documents Marcel has. I'm saying it doesn't back him up the way he thinks it does, but because he claims it does, it carries the weight of evidence for people who buy into it.
Society and understanding everything, it's a really good idea to do. It will get more expensive later, so the fact you can get in for
virtual head pat and gold star radiology. Good job.
75 now. I recommend doing it. I don't make anything off that 175 for at this moment, but I just want you guys to know about it, because later on we will have it on the site, but it will be a little bit more. So I strongly recommend anyone who's interested in that, shoot me an email. So that's the Indigenous Rep course. And then starting next week, a lot of you, I'm sure, know Amanda Rutterham. She's been on a lot of these, and her brother Ty. So Ty's come on board as my personal assistant to help with follow-up. He's going to be reaching out to people when I get too busy. He's going through the backlog of people.
Okay, I'm going to see if he talks, doesn't he answer them questions. If not, I'm moving on.
Whatever you guys want to talk about. So any questions? I see there's something in chat here. Let me take a peek.
Why gotta do it like that? I gotta get him under my tongue.
Oh, thank you, Dee, and thank you, Robert, for the compliments on the outfit and that. These shirts, just so you guys know, are actually what our teams wear when they go out door to door.
That shirt screams I'm a psycho. Never put this many words on a shirt. You expect someone to sit there and read a whole page off your chest?
So who owns the law? You do. Just talks about natural law, and the universe in you put your living soul in your animal body, and that makes you a nation unto yourself. And that's why if a barber cuts hair on your head without your permission, it's assault. And then on the back, we just have the different stuff there or whatever.
Oh, the back's even worse.
But yeah, so thanks for liking the outfit.
Oh shit, Nemesaur with the $50 tip says this money isn't being donated, it's traveling. Thank you, Nemesaur. That's so generous of you.
Anyway, and this is kind of more how I look when I'm actually.
I should get that shirt. I don't disagree. I don't want to give him my address, though.
Out in the world, just so you guys know. Yeah.
Someone else should get that shirt and send it to me.
I don't go out in suits and stuff in Winnipeg. It wouldn't fit in, and they're not very comfortable. So, yeah, I feel like I'm just absolutely rambling. Any questions, anyone?
I do have a P.O. box.
Okay, we'll be putting more information out about all the stuff I went over anyway. And again, you can just shoot me an email, privatelawtrusts@outlook.com. Now I'll open up the floor to questions, or even not a question if you just want to share where you're at in your progress or how it's going. Or
that's true, Astro Fox. I could have it sent to the P.O. box. I never think about that.
And if everyone's shy, that's okay too, because we're recording and stuff. So people don't always want to talk. I'll give it like another 30 seconds to a minute. And then if no one has any questions or anything, we'll keep it brief. I appreciate it's Sunday on a long weekend. I sent the invites out on Friday. I was planning to do a reminder to everybody to come tonight, but I figured it was a long weekend.
I want to give him money. Me buying a shirt's not going to make a difference either way. If it buys him a sandwich, that's fine. I don't care. Harold Elbelman says, speaking of Sovsits, Silver, and culty weirdness, here's a group I've been trying to find some video for you to react to for a while. Check out the coin details and then click on the pages. They link for bonus BS. Okay. Thank you. Coin details. Oh, God. creepy Christian nationalist money. Okay, I'm saving this for foil. Thank you. Oh my, that's interesting. Saves.
So I just didn't bug anybody. So for those of you who remembered and showed up on your long weekend in the middle on a Sunday night, thank you guys so much for coming. And yeah, probably next time in the future, I'll make sure to schedule it the following week, just so that way we're not interrupting everyone's weekend. But I just do this all.
Quick question, Marcel.
Yes, Steve.
Quick question.
Sorry, Closed Dweeb, I didn't see that. No, I've not seen that New Vegas horror series.
Please.
Sorry, I didn't see that earlier.
Okay, so you had mentioned to sign your name, and then underneath, all rights reserved, and then under that, you put your society name under there. Now, was that just for the paperwork for the bank, or was that every time you sign on behalf of your society?
Yeah, I saw he's getting sued. I hate Twitch times 2. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. But it is. I'm glad it's gonna be a hassle for him because he's an asshole.
Yeah, so basically that's your signature on everything you sign forever going forward, personally or for your society. Because if you don't put the all rights reserved and your society law, you're giving up your rights in that
Oh, they already drop it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I don't think it had standing.
Contract because,
like, don't get me wrong. I think morally what Keith has done is fucked up, but I don't know if the law is written in such a way that he has done anything literally illegal. It's morally a pump and dump. Is it legally? He's not directly telling people we're going to pump and dump this thing.
every legal contract,
it's about the implication,
is trying to strip you of rights and put you into the corporate side. So that's why it's like your invisible barrier to stay in the private.
Okay, I'm done with Marcel for today. Let's move on. All the ladies say pretty fly for a white guy. Doon, doo, doo, doon, doo.
Have you looked at any of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you read them? When did you do that last night?
I've been studying more science. My religion is more science. As you can see, if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it tells you it's a duck, it's pretty much a duck. So I'm more science. So I've been studying for over 10 years.
He is more science.
Grayson, case number SP 146437761, SP 146409991, SP 14.
Actually, real quick before we start this, I have to pee. While I'm gone, Cher will tell you about... I don't know if this will stay up. Quite heavy. Bully! This is a special edition of Bully that comes with like a nice big book. Hell yeah. Alright, I'll be back. 8675309. Like that song.
63900, counts 1, 2, and 3. State your name for the record.
Grayson Bay.
Grayson Bay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All right. State your name for the record.
Grayson Bay.
All right. This is, today is the date and time set for a jury trial. Ms. Schneider, can you put your appearance on the record, please?
Good morning, Your Honor. Alexa Schneider for the people, P80322. For the record, the issuing officer, Officer Ambrose, was present, although I released him.
I didn't hear him say SCP number. Peter class.
Mr. Grayson Bay, we didn't conclude some of the, first of all, I want to get the record straight from yesterday. I did mention, and you did cite, where's Mr. Grayson Bay's file? Yes, but I brought it back downstairs. Yes. I wanted to clear up something I said on the record as far as the case that you cited out of Alabama. That I was incorrect as far as the facts of that case. Shuttlesworth was not the case where they were walking down the street and did not obtain the license to assemble. That was a case where he has another reverend organized a sit-in and at a restaurant, and they were ticketed. And the unfortunate part about it is, and that's just how our society is, and it was, and still is for the most part.
Goddamn
is that
tail.
this case had to go all the way to the United States
I don't know how
Supreme
things with
Court
tails
for
do
him
it. Kind of annoying. You just sit on it. You just sit on the tail. It's the worst. I need a tailectomy.
to get justice on this case. But again, you're citing cases, sir, that you're not even reading what the cases are about. I can actually fine you. That's something a lawyer would be can be brought up to the grievance commission on and potentially lose their license.
The fact that you said in Harold Elbleman is telling about what kind of tale you think it is. Not that kind of tale.
All the cases in there, all the cases that you have cited are saying exactly the opposite of what you purport.
It's part of the onesie.
Have you looked at any of them?
Show the tail.
And you
Show
read them?
tail. Show tail.
When did you do that last night?
I've been studying more science. My religion is more science. As you can see, if it looks like a duck, it acts like a duck, it tells you it's a duck, it's pretty much a duck. So I'm more science. So I've been studying for over 10 years. And
You didn't realize I had a onesie on? Yeah, it's the dinosaur one for costume month. I'm a tricerabottom.
But you haven't been studying.
No disrespect to you, Your Honor. I just want to remain mute to the fact and acknowledge
I
that
know.
my mother is.
It's just too hot for the hood.
The matriarch of my family, and so I just want to remain mute to this case in this matter. And the floor is yours. This is your court.
It wouldn't hurt Baja, but also I have a fan on, so I'm okay.
No disrespect. My mother is here.
No. Ma'am, can you stand up and state your name, please?
My name is Grayson Hall.
Good morning, Ms. Grayson Hall. And I'm I'm not, it's nothing about, you can see it. I just wanted you to acknowledge, I do acknowledge the fact, and I appreciate the fact that you have support here. The court always recognizes that. That's why I asked you to stand up. But you want to remain mute now, but you didn't remain mute when you filed these pleadings.
I'm glad that the leading costumes for the new costumes I'm buying seem to be ones that are pretty cool and won't overheat, so that's nice.
This is how you speak.
I think the two leading ones right now, by the way, are Miss Frizzle and Judge. Oh.
To the court exactly the way you did. Now, maybe the form is not exactly the way the court kind of or the rules have to fly, but I understand you're in pro per and you might not know all of those rules. But when you start filing these documentations, you're speaking to the court and you're representing that this is the current state of the law as this is the current state of the law, and this stuff applies to your case, and I should be reading this stuff and be able to interpret what you're saying about your case through these cases. And when I read these cases, it says exactly the ones that I've read, and I've seen these cases filed before, it says exactly the opposite of what you're trying to say. Because what I understand you're trying to say is that you're trying to say that you don't need a valid driver's license to drive on the roads, you don't need proper registration on your vehicle, and you don't need proper insurance. And you're even going as far as saying that the police officers, and correct me if I'm wrong, that the police officers do not even have the authority to pull you over. Is that correct?
Again, Your Honor, I remain mute to the situation, and I reply.
I remain mute.
My mother is here. No due respect to the court.
Oh, juggle.
My matriarch
I missed
is
a
here.
juggle command. Let me make sure I get that done for you. There's one ball. I always have the damnedest time finding my balls. Didn't used to be a problem. Boxers, thanks for 9 months. This sub-baby's name is going to be Pro Se Litigant. There you go. And
I gave you pretty much documents to read, and I'm standing on those documents.
And Goth Geek Gaming says, honest question, why is the law that we can represent ourselves when it is in fact a very bad idea? Second, did SovSit start more after COVID, or were they here before it? Well, first of all, the law was less complicated when the country was founded and that right was enshrined, but also the idea is so that you can't be railroaded by a government-appointed lawyer that's just going to do a bad job. Now, that's not to say that happens all the time, or that's the intent, although public defenders are underfunded and overworked. But that's at least in theory the idea, is that if the government were to become corrupt and try and railroad you, you could defend yourself if you so chose. I think it's important that you have a right to be your own attorney and right to an attorney. You can't have both at the same time, of course, but the choice, I think, is important philosophically.
Documents, and I will remain mute.
Oh, and pretty much every conspiracy theory got worse after COVID, so SovSits are included in that, but so are flat earthers, QAnon people, anti-vaxxers. COVID supercharged a lot of access to conspiracy theories for people.
I've already found you guilty.
All right, juggle.
Of the count of refusing to exhibit a driver's license. SP 1464091. I'm going to fine you on that case $240. I've already found you responsible on SP 1463901, expired plate. I'm going to fine you $145 on that. And I've already found you responsible on SP 14639-003, insurance no proof, and I say guilty on SP 146409991, and that's a 240.
All right, I'm moving on from this one. I'm gonna be honest, this one's really boring. Doom. How's Colin Russell hyphen J Colin Gould doing? This is a video we put out today. I'm not going to do the bit where I read the entire disclaimer again, but it does the first line say, for this copyright hyphen copy claim hyphen date hyphen 1 period hyphen July hyphen 1775 through this now hyphen date is with this patent hyphen performance and copy hyphen right hyphen performance of this video hyphen documentary. So on and so forth. Colon corporation hyphen case hyphen number colon R.R. tilde 385 tilde 460 tilde 312 colon U.SU colon lastflagstanding.com comma space warcastles.com period. Radiology says, COVID was the thing I was most wrong about recently. I genuinely thought that being inside and unable to do things would have people focus on what was actually real and important to them. Womp womp. Your first mistake was having faith in your fellow man. Never do that. That's one of the fatal errors. Never have faith in large groups of people to do the right thing. Okay.
Corporation case number R tilde 385 tilde 460 tilde 312 colon U S period. Dry dock treaty number R tilde 294 tilde 568 tilde 221
Yeah, you thought I was funny for saying the tildes out loud, didn't ya? Now who's an idiot?
S period. Global Banking Constitution and lease number R tilde 023 tilde 986 tilde 635 colon U S period.
Colon zero hyphen balance on the fraud hyphen national hyphen debt and freedom on the mind hyphen control hyphen trans hyphen humanist hyphen grid. So without the superfluous hyphens, zero balance on the fraud national debt and freedom on the mind controlled transhumanist grid. Why is he saying all the punctuation? He is one of the sovereign citizens that's into quantum grammar. They believe that this is a secret mathematical language that is objectively true, like math, and that is the proper way to adjudicate matters. It's nonsense, of course.
I'm zeroing out the balance of the national debt from 1999. I'm zeroing out the debt for the postmasters that have claims to life within the postal bank.
Isn't he dead? The originator of this is dead. This was his protege who is in charge of it now and is still alive.
Banking system.
Radiology says the trans grid just has denial in the lower left corner and full furry in the top right corner.
In 2007, I created a company called the Unity-States of America Free-World, because the concept of America was built on constitutional public to be downsized, and we the people had the autonomy to direct.
I feel like in your grid, somewhere between denial and full furry should be dog or cat girls. Somewhere in the middle. There's a middle ground. The dog and cat girls are the centrists of the trans world. They just want a grill.
The government civil servants on what we chose for our lives.
Not quite furries, not quite in denial.
With 1 foot on the sea and 1 foot on the land. I'm zeroing out the balance of the national debt from 1999 to the 2024 here. because there is no president. So with 1 foot in the sea and 1 foot on the land, I'm authorizing with this bill of the lading through the contract flag, Title IV flag, that I'm setting zero balance of the fictional story debt of the U.S. presidents, U.S. presidential elections, rules and guidelines, U.S. Congress, U.S. Treasury, Federal Reserve election, Federal Reserve notes, the United States of America, and the United States military as well. They're in a fictional story since the United States ended in 1999. And since I have the contract rights and the solitary control of the flag to have 1 foot on the sea and 1 foot on the land, I'm zeroing the balance in the claimants that have joined the quantum system, that you don't have to participate with the fiction storylines of fake presidents and the psyops of the Stockholm syndrome of the mass psychosis that you see on bombarding us in the societies, acting like there's an actual president. They have footnotes here on the United States and the Benjamin Franklin borrowing the money in 1775, and the end of the United States government in 1999 on the third and final bankruptcies.
So he thinks the United States government ended in 1999. All right.
There are no guidelines for a treasury. There are no guidelines to yoke a debt upon we the people. So in paragraph 1, I'm coming forward to you on a Freedom Week, giving my freedom as Andrew Jackson would do, and saying that, like Andrew Jackson, that the debt and the servitude of the people is there's no debt on we the people that have claims to the life. So if you have a claim to the life, you do not have to participate with any debt system from 1999 to this now space date, and we're now dating that as we move through the space of the space. The reason why their money is worthless is because the United States Postal Service authorizes the banking system, but in 1999, the United States Postal System, through the fake presidential election of 2000, with the Florida Chad, vacated the estate of the presidency. And that's all done. You can read on that on the Prevention Act in the congressional record.
Okay, I think I've had my fill of word salad. Let's move on before my brain explodes. Do another court one. This does have some of those annoying edits. I apologize. I couldn't find the actual full video outside of the edits.
I'm not an attorney.
The conversation is real. The participants are not actors.
What's your name?
I'm here representing Brian Musgrove.
You're Brian Musgrove?
I'm here representing.
I have no idea what that means, so why don't you come up to the podium?
I tried to.
Nope, yeah, stand in front of the thing. So what is your name?
Brian Joseph Musgrove.
Okay, are you an attorney? What's your P number?
I'm not an attorney.
So then you can't represent Brian Musgrove. So
He is Brian Musgrove, but he's claiming that he's a representative because sovereign citizens like to act as though the person who was charged is a separate entity than themselves, even though they are the person that was charged. They're basically trying to weasel out of the charges by being like, oh yeah, you charged that name, but it's not me, even though it is literally them.
Defendant, correct?
Executor on that estate.
Okay, so none of that is valid or legal. So you have an attorney?
He's not doing nothing for me.
Okay, that wasn't my question. Do you have an attorney, yes or no?
I have, yeah, he was supposed to represent me, but.
So you have Michael Dagger-Margosian. Okay, so he's your attorney. Okay, so go have a seat. When Mr. Dagger-Margosian gets here, I'll call your case, okay?
Soon after.
So, Mr. Musgrove, you want to come up to the podium, please? This is in the matter of the people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Joseph Musgrove, file number 23-21461FH. I have Isaac Sneed appearing on behalf of the people, and I have Michael Dagger-Margosian appearing on behalf of Mr. Musgrove. Mr. Dagger-Margosian might, oh, there he is. So, Mr. Dagger-Margosian, this is a date and time set for pre-trial in this matter. Mr. Musgrove said that he was appearing on his own behalf. I did verify he is not an attorney, and you are still the attorney of record. So, Mr.
Interesting lady.
Dagger-Margosian, how do you wish to proceed?
Well, Your Honor, I am aware that Mr. Musgrove wants to present information.
Yeah, it says agent in hiding.
To the court.
Thing.
I'm happy to be standby counsel if he wants to represent himself. Obviously, this court would have to go through the colloquy of that, but obviously it's Mr. Musgrove's.
Doesn't an estate usually refer to a dead person? People talk about someone's estate when they're dead, but like an estate is basically all of your legal and administrative matters. Your bank account, your legal responsibilities, your debts, any trusts that might be in your name. That's your estate, your property, real and otherwise.
Legal right to at least ask the court to do that. So.
All right. So, Mr. Musgrove, when you were at the bench or up at the podium before, you said that you were appearing on behalf of yourself. So, Mr. Musgrove, are you asking to no longer have counsel represent you?
Well, what I'm understanding is that the courts is a private
So,
for-profit.
Mr. Musgrove, I know where you're going with this, and none of that is valid. None of that is law.
I'm not the all caps name. Of course.
None of that is valid. None of that is law. You are standing in my courtroom. I have jurisdiction over you. So,
I tried to file paperwork with the clerk's office ahead of time so that you would have time to review it, and they denied me.
I know what you're talking about. None of that is valid under the law of the state of Michigan or the Constitution of the United States of America.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
What do you mean? It is.
No.
The Supreme Court says it is.
What is?
They always do that. They're always like, the Supreme Court agrees with me. No, they don't. Cite something. Cite something.
Let's say it is.
The Supreme Court says that if we were at the age of 18, we were supposed to claim our minor status.
Nope, not valid.
Okay.
So here's what I would say to you, Mr. Dagger Marcos.
What's that movie? I actually don't know. That's one I didn't know off the top of my head. Someone will have to tell me what movie that was from, which is shocking.
Like most of our public defenders, exceptional attorneys and very well versed in the law and very experienced. He gives legal advice. You may not.
Cool Hand Luke. Haven't seen Cool Hand Luke. Razor Girl Luna with 100 bits says, I wonder how annoying it would be to play a Magic the Gathering with a sob sit. Rachology says, since he appeared briefly, I only got the name Max Headroom when I saw a sign with the same. I'm 42 years old and have a degree. Yeah, in the show, he crashed into a thing that said maximum headroom, and he also crashed into like a server computer and became Max Headroom.
I like the legal advice, but it's usually good advice. I've never had anyone from the public defender's office.
I do have Max Headroom on DVD, but I think it's downstairs. Should be up here with my sci-fi stuff, really, but...
not wholeheartedly try to represent their client.
I put it with my TV shows, but really, I have sci-fi TV shows up here. Sorry, now I'm in my head about a DVD being in the wrong place, and that's gonna bug me.
So
until I fix it later.
What you are talking about is not valid, and it is not going to...
You know what's more fun than watching movies is obsessing about how I categorize them and where I place them within my collection. That's definitely the fun part, right? Is that why I'm so obsessed with it?
Get you out of this case. You're not going to be able to say all those things because it's not valid.
Everyone involved in this court case has a financial interest in the case.
I don't have a financial interest in your case. I get paid by the state of Michigan, whether you plead, whether it gets dismissed.
That's what I don't get when they say stuff like that. Like the lawyer, no one here is getting paid any differently regardless of the results. Their paycheck is not dependent upon the results of your case. It's dependent upon them doing their role in your case, but it's not dependent upon whether you're found guilty or not.
Any money off you?
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the Max Headroom incident.
We have budgets. The court system is not a profit-generating revenue. We are here to represent people so that people who are charged with crimes are protected. People who are victims of crimes are protected. And that's why we have all
in order for there to be a crime, there has to be a victim. There is no...
Well, there is a victim in this case because...
Yeah, lawyers are generally hourly.
The company.
You are charged.
It might be different with public defenders. They might just get paid per case. I don't know. It might depend on the jurisdiction.
Actually, just hold on. So
it gets billed to the state.
Your crime that you are charged with, which you are innocent as of this time, let me grab the right file, is failure. Oh, this is let me see. This is an embezzlement charge. So you are charged in count one.
That's a good observation. Harold Edelman says they have a zero-sum process. They're going to lose money, so everyone who's against them is going to gain money. Yeah, they think that because they are in detriment due to this, they think the other side that they're adversarial with must be gaining something, not understanding that, no, this isn't personal, this is just the justice system.
With embezzlement, 50,000 or more, but less than 100,000. That being an agent, servant, or employee of Hardwoods of Michigan Industries did convert to your own use without the consent of your employer or principal, industrial tools and equipment in the amount of $68,938.40 or money or equipment. And that's a 15-year felony. So if you are found guilty by a jury, you can go to prison for up to 15 years. You're charged in count 2 with using it.
Oh, I remember this guy, actually. Did we see this? This was a guy that committed, not thievery, but what is it? We went conversion. He was guilty of conversion. I remember this one. We did watch this. He did conversion on some equipment from his place of work that was like $60-something thousand. Conversion is different than theft under the law in that if I break into someone's house and I take something, that's theft. If I'm in a store and I take something without paying, that's theft. Conversion is when you have something that's rightfully in your possession, but you don't own it, and then you convert it to your own possession. So, like, if you're at your job and you have the right while you're working to use a piece of equipment for work, so like a piece of construction equipment, a jackhammer, a drill, whatever, it's the company's, you have it, you're allowed to be using it at work, and then you take it home and sell it or use it yourself and don't give it back, that's conversion. Anyway, I'll move on because we did actually watch this guy before. I believe he's found guilty. Could be wrong, though. Alright, I'll pull up a different one for us. Sorry, some of them blend together after a while.
Actors.
People versus Paul Kuhn, case number 235256.
Sierra Coke on behalf of the people.
Mr. Kuhn is present here in the courtroom today. This was originally set as a sentencing hearing. Mr. Kuhn, I got a report from the probation department indicating that you can find to participate in the process.
Up here. Greetings, Your Honor. I'm here by special appearance, not a general appearance, and I reserve all my rights and explicit.
Again, when they say special appearance, they believe that they are expressly saying, I'm showing up for court, but I'm not saying you have authority over me. Doesn't matter, of course, but they think it does.
Without prejudice. I, Paul Kuhn, a sentinel moral being, have examined the path of my feet.
Oh, this guy really likes to use Max Headroom clips.
And have concluded that I have dishonored many people, including, but not limited to, the people, the peace officers, the city, the county, and to determine that I have made many mistakes, and I'm sorry for my sins, and therefore I repent now.
I'm sorry for my sins.
I have become.
This isn't confession.
I'm aware of other sins I may have committed, and I'll repent immediately.
Oh.
To my attorney, it has come to my attention that you have never informed me of my choice of law.
Choice of law?
And to make matters worse, you chose an inferior form to have me tried under. You are either incompetent or collusion with the prosecutor. Either way, you have provided me with an effective
Did I see RFK Jr.'s response to sex allegations? No. I haven't been paying attention to him since we found out about the brain worm.
ineffective assistance of counsel, which has caused me great harm. You are fired. That's what I have to say.
Okay. Do you intend to hire another attorney? Are you appointed?
I was appointed.
How are you going to proceed in terms of counsel?
Act of contrition has entered the chat. 5 Hail Marys incoming.
Oh, I'm going to do it myself.
Okay. All right. You understand that you have the right to have an attorney?
I do.
And you understand that if you can't afford an attorney, you have the right to have one appointed for you at public expense. And in fact, that's what we've been operating under up till now.
I haven't gotten legal counsel, but anyways, I'll accept whatever you have.
Okay, so you understand that you do have the right to have an appointed attorney if you can't afford one?
I had him and he has done me no good from the beginning. So
yep.
At this point, I'll just I'll take whatever you got to give me.
Yeah, I'm just asking whether you understand that you have that right. Yes. And in spite of that, you're asking the court to allow you to represent yourself today?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever represented yourself in court before?
Sir, I'm just I'm here as a special appearance only, and
that doesn't mean anything, sir.
That doesn't have any legal significance to me at all.
I understand.
My question is whether you've ever represented yourself in court before.
No.
Okay. Do you have any legal training or education?
No, just have the people that help me through this.
Okay. And so you understand.
Crazy Girl Luna says, I wonder what happens if you put a Sovsit and an anarchist in a room together.
Understand that there are not having.
Probably a really frustrated anarchist trying to explain that's not how anything works.
Represented yourself, not having any legal training or experience, that there are risks involved in representing yourself. And that there are matters of procedure and substantive law that you may not be aware of, and therefore there may be arguments that you could raise in your own defense that might give you an improved outcome in your case, and that without that legal training and experience, you may not know what those are, and you may have a worse outcome than if you had an attorney.
I'll take what is given to me.
In spite of those risks, is it still your wish to represent yourself?
I'll take what is given to me.
That's not the answer to my question. My question is, do you still want to represent yourself knowing those risks?
Sir, I just I'll accept any offer. In return, your offer to your, for your closure and settlement of any account I may have.
Okay, again, my question is, in spite of the risks of representing yourself, are you still asking to represent yourself?
Yes.
All right. So at this point, the court with Mr. Gurmurthy will discharge you.
Do I think the Sovsit would be in line with an anarchist, but just very misguided, or you think they see themselves as diametrically opposed to anarchism? It would depend on the sovereign citizen and the anarchist and their particular philosophies about anarchy.
The court finds that your request.
I understand like the question you're asking. It's just hard to answer without more specifics because sovereign citizens are so different and their beliefs are different from individual to individual. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Represent yourself.
I know that's not a satisfying answer, and I apologize.
Is knowing and voluntary and unequivocal. And so at this point, the court's going to allow you to represent yourself going forward. Do you have anything to say with regard to your refusal to participate in the pre-sentence interview process?
Whatever you want to give me, I'll accept.
Okay, so that's something that you're required to do as part of the court's order. Because you declined to do that, the court is going to revoke your bond. The court is going to order that you be remanded to the Crawford County Jail. I'm going to request the probation officer to make another attempt to go through the pre-sentence interview process with you. If you continue to decline, then we'll just go forward with sentencing without having that information before the court. And Mr. Haven, if Mr. Kuhn refuses to participate, you can just indicate that before the court, and then prepare the pre-sentence report to the best of your ability without that information.
Yes, sir.
I did an acceptance, dated and signed the top of it. And that's all I'm doing.
Okay, well, we'll give it another try anyway, and you're going to do what you're going to do. But for today's purposes, the court's going to revoke your bond and remand you to the jail. The court will set this for a sentencing hearing at its next available date. So you can go with the officers, please.
Okay. I'm going to hand this over to my witnesses.
I'll give it to him.
Okay, right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, just certainly hand that to them. Okay. Oh, the headphones.
Yeah, I think you're right, Razor Girl Luna. I think they're very much of the opinion. They don't not want a government. They just want to be in a position where the government protects them and binds others and doesn't bind them. So, yeah, it's basically selfishness. They want a government that keeps things in order as far as they're concerned for everyone else, but they don't want any expectations of them.
Okay. So you don't need those. I mean, oh, okay.
Same Profane Priestess. Like, I don't consider myself an anarchist, but, like, that annoys me when they actually bring up, on occasion, like, delete laws, for instance, will bring up actual systemic problems with policing or the justice system, but instead of dealing with these things on their own terms and coming up with actionable plans in terms of, like, grassroots organization, getting messaging out, coming up with actual plans to discuss things and lobby for changes to the system, they just outright deny it's real and act as though it isn't and think that that's enough.
Okay.
You can't fix stupid.
All right. So that's it for today. We're going a little short today just because I gotta go to the lake. I go to a lake for 4th of July. So I will leave you in the hands of another streamer. Let's see who. Tina 2, why not?
Leader was in listening mode.
And y'all have a great rest of your day. Love you too, Mr. Blast. I'll see you all tomorrow for a stream. Not sure what we're going to be doing. Maybe VHS Vault. It's been a bit since we've done one of those. So I will see you soon. Have a great day, whatever your plans are. If you have any, stay safe out there. Be cool. Night, everyone. Bye-bye.